Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 with Newcastle United. It is season 5. We are still in the Premier League. Last season we finished 13th, I think it was. We have survived our first real test this season. We are aiming to go one step further and finish in the top half. That's my guess, or my goal. I don't think we're going to be getting European football, although 5th, 6th and 7th do qualify for the Europa League, or maybe the Europa League 2, or something along those lines. I don't quite know what that competition actually is. Anyway, as it is the first episode of a new season, we will be going through transfer business as a main port of call. I don't know whether there's going to be an actual match in this episode. It might be another episode later on today. We've got a lot of business to talk about. 9 players have joined the club, and about 645 have left the club. Going in reverse order then, £130,000, Elliot Anderson has left and signed for Sheffield Wednesday. £325,000, Matty Birtles has left and signed for Barnsley. I think there's a sell-on in that one. Niall Ennis has also left the club for a very small fee. It's about £375,000, but he does have a sell-on in there as well. I don't think he was ever going to make it in the Premier League. Another player who was never going to make it in the Premier League is Thai international striker Subhanat Mwinata. I'm glad we didn't actually play him, to be honest. He's signed for Portsmouth down in the Championship, already playing a game, scoring a goal as well, for about £650,000. 50% sell-on in there for this one. Jean-Claude Kern, a player who we signed, couldn't get a work permit for no reason, has basically decided to stay in the Middle East, signing for Saudi Arabian side Al Ittihad on £700,000, £800,000, £900,000. We've made a bit of a loss on him. Almost at the £1 million mark is Martin Dubravka, £925,000. Basically got relegated to second choice goalkeeper once Freddie Woodman joined. He's left the club, signed for Napoli. Probably got a good couple of years left in him, but we were basically going to replace him with Woodman and then our superb wonder kid Chinese goalkeeper, who's not actually a wonder kid, but he will be. When he's 19 years old, he'll be a wonder kid. Central midfielder Benny Banningham, who we signed from Everton early on, has left the club, signing for Montreal Impact for £1.1 million, was never going to play for us. Anthony Robinson, the American left-back, has left the club, signing for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. We've got about £1.6 million for him. Oh no, £3 million. Why am I thinking 1.6? He went for 1.6. We got £3 million. It's still not a lot of money. For £3.5 million, Liberato Casase has left the club, signing for Birmingham. I'm disappointed that we didn't really get the chance to play Liberato. He's still only young. I think we've got a sell-on in there as well, so if he goes for a reasonable amount of money, we'll pick up some more cash from it. There's still 8 more to go, starting with Jasper van der Werf, the 24-year-old now Swiss central defender. He's returned back to Red Bull Salzburg, and we've made a fair profit on him. 5.5 million, we bought him for 1.4. He was alright in the Championship, wasn't really going to play too much in the Premier League. Leo Ostergaard is next up, signing for Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. He was signed for too much money. This wasn't us, we didn't do this. £13.5 million, sold for just 6.75, actually 7.5 potentially. He was alright, we never played him. I think they paid too much money for him. He's also one of the angriest people in the world. Somehow we've managed to sell JPG to Borussia Dortmund. And we've sold him for a reasonable sum. We've actually made a profit on him. £7.5 million we bought him for. We've sold him for potentially 10.75. He wasn't great for us, was he? He did alright in the Championship. Premier League, didn't really get a look in. Went on loan to Swansea, got relegated with them. This one I'm a bit sad to see leave. It is Sebastian Vassiliadis, now a Greek international, 2 Greece caps to his name, signing for Freiburg in Germany. 8.75, potentially rising to 10.75. We made a decent profit on him. Got 2 good years out of him, or 1.5 good years. He only played 19 games last season. Moving into the big money now, Michael Obafemi, who we signed on a free transfer, has left the club, signing for West Brom for £15 million. 13.5 up front, with 15 million up to 15 million later on. He was alright for us. I don't think he's really going to fit into our squad, because we're trying to improve, trying to get better, and I think he's probably where we finished, that's probably his level. Rafa Mir has also left the club, signing for Leicester, £14 million, I think. It is 14, exactly £14 million. Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to play him too much because of work permit regulations. He's actually very good, but he was never going to get a look in. Someone that we saw leave at the end of the last episode, I think it was, Isaac Hayden, the 28-year-old English midfielder, signing for Aston Villa, £15 million. Nearly 200 games for Newcastle, very nearly. Only played 13 times for us last season, 2 goals, 1 assist to his name. £15 million, a decent bit of cash for him. And the big one, and by big one I mean in terms of player, not in terms of value. 15 and a bit million pounds, 15.5, something like that. Miguel Almiron has signed for Sevilla. He wasn't playing for us. We loaned him out to Borussia Dortmund. Did all right, actually. 18 appearances, 5 goals to his name. We can't fit him into our team. And he's probably getting paid too much money for what he was doing for us, so we shifted him on. Also, there's a big list of players there that have left on free transfers. The big name, Jamie Vardy, who is now a manager. Doesn't have a job yet, but he's a manager. Maybe. Oh, did we do it? Can we actually get him in as a coach? He wants to be the under-18s assistant manager. Do I even have one? I don't. I've only got a manager. Right. Jamie, you're coming in as our under-18s assistant manager. 3 players have joined the club on free transfers from various clubs around England. They've all left at the end of their contract when they got released as youth players. You're not going to get the fancy intro. Paul Langford is one of them, formerly of Manchester United. 1.5 star current ability, 4 star potential. Basically, he was brought in to bolster our youth teams. Much like Sebastian Druniak, an 18-year-old Polish central defender, also formerly of Manchester United. 1.5 star current ability, 3 star potential. I was hoping to be better than that. And from Liverpool is Hungarian winger Gyozo Pap, maybe 1.5 star current ability, 3.5 star potential. Now we move into the slightly better players. Now he's probably not going to be playing a lot of football for us in the early years, but he might be further down the line. It is 18-year-old Algerian defensive midfielder Hossein Guesbaoui, maybe, this guy. Signed from Paradou AC, who, if you ever wanted to sign decent Algerian footballers, go to Paradou AC. They always seem to have some very good players. He's actually very good technically. He's got some good technical stats. Got reasonable mental stats as well. Physically, he's actually pretty good as well. 2 star current ability, 4 star potential, sorry. He has joined for £44,000. Absolute bargain. Another youngster to sign, this time from Partizan in Serbia, is 18-year-old Serbian left midfielder Aleksandar Jovic. He is a 2 star current ability, 4.5 star potential. He's a physical animal. He's mentally very aggressive. He's got a lot of flair as well. Technically, he's pretty good. Natural inverted winger as well. He's come in 900 and something, £825,000 from Partizan. I think Alexander's going to be good. Not going to see him for a year or so. Probably going to try and loan him out, although I think he might actually be registered. He's definitely getting paid enough money. You might notice a theme with our transfer window. We've bought kids. Lots and lots of children. We've actually bought 1 or 2 players who might actually be playing for the first team. Next up is 18-year-old French central defender Johan Maillard, who has signed from Monaco. £4 million for him. 2.5 star current ability, 5 star potential. Think we've got another good one on our hands here. Probably going to be playing the odd game here or there coming off the bench. For £4 million, I think we've potentially got a world-class centre-back in a few years' time. And I'm hoping we've got ourselves a world-class left-back if he can get a little bit better technically. It is Carlos Restrepo, a Colombian left-back and midfielder, kind of, from Medellin in Colombia. He signed for about 5.25 million, 6 million in total. So, yeah, basically, he came up on my scout feed. I looked and went, he seems all right. And then I had lots of news saying that Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, PSG, AC Milan, Juventus, Real Madrid, all of the big teams were coming in for him. And I went, we've got to do it. We've got to pull the trigger. £6 million is probably a bit steep. He's a fullback who can't cross, can't dribble. He's probably going to be playing, when he does play, as an attacking wing-back, which he's not great at. Needs some flair, needs some first touch, crossing and dribbling, as I've just mentioned. But he is 2.5 star current ability, 5 star potential. We probably need to get rid of that stopped play player trait because that's going to be a bit awkward when we're trying to do counter-attacking football. But I think he's only 18 years old. He's only just turned 18 as well. I think we've got a good player. He is going to be registered, I think, for football this season as well. The first of our potential first-team players is Scottish left-back Greg Taylor, formerly of Celtic and Kilmarnock. He's come in for a reasonable sum, £15 million for Greg Taylor. I've wanted to replace Baba Rahman basically all season. Since I signed him, I kind of went, he's not the best, is he? Greg Taylor is hopefully going to do that. Also, being Scottish, I think he kind of counts as homegrown. He's more homegrown than Baba Rahman is anyway. I will admit, Greg Taylor was my third choice left back. The first choice was Luke Shaw, who returned home to Southampton on a free transfer. The second choice was Josh Tymon, who has signed for Leeds United. So yeah, Greg Taylor, third choice left back. I don't think he's bad. Ideally, Luke Shaw would have been the one that we would have got. But, you know, we lose out sometimes. Tymon was reasonable option. Taylor, I think, is just as good as Tymon. Or Tymon. I don't know what one it is. And the final signing is 23-year-old Spanish central midfielder, formerly of Barcelona. Played for Sevilla as well for a season on a free transfer as well. Ricky Puig, maybe. He is just ridiculous. Problem is, we don't play a formation that is going to fit him. He might need to train himself up as a Mazzala. For a free transfer, Ricky is good. Ricky is real good. He's got obviously some very good technical stats. First touch, passing and technique at 16. Vision and flair 16s as well. Physically, he's actually pretty good. High agility, high natural fitness. He's not the fastest in the world, but when you're essentially a 23-year-old Spanish Messi, do you really need to have some pace? So yeah, that is our transfer business so far. The window is still open. We're playing Spurs in about 4 days' time. I don't think we're going to be buying anybody else. This is a season of transition. I've sold a lot of players because a lot of these players were never going to be able to be registered, which is why a lot of them have left. There is a few more players going to be leaving, players again, who aren't going to be able to get registered anyway, so there's no point keeping them about. I will just head over, actually, to the transfers thing here. So, a lot of the players that have left do have a lot of these ridiculous clauses, but we do have 50% sell-on for Elliot Anderson. For Matty Bertels, 50% sell-on will go to Newcastle. Niall Ennis has a 50% sell-on as well. Some guy called Josh Gilchrist has a 50% sell-on. The man from Thailand has a 50% sell-on as well. Michael Obafemi only has a 30% sell-on, but we got £15 million for him. And Leo Ostergaard has a 20% of the profit, so I can't imagine we're going to get much from that one if it does come in. This is always something that interests me. Every single transfer window, I always have a look at this. I don't necessarily show it. So the transfer activities, thoughts from the board, and then the fans on the right-hand side. The fans are reasonably okay. They're not happy with Pap, but fine. As for the board's reaction, Ricky, they've gone for a B-, they're happy with that. Sebastian Druniak, they reckon it's an A-, they're really happy with that one. Same with Paul Langford, don't really know why. A few Bs as well for old Guesbawi, also Bujamoal, this guy who we signed in January, and Freddie Woodman as well. This is kind of where it goes wrong. Is the players out, particularly on the board side. So Jean-Claude Kern, not happy that we lost a lot of money. Ostergaard, we lost a lot of money. Miguel Almiron, we lost a lot of money. The fans kind of get it. I think they understand. The only one is really Miguel Almiron that they're really annoyed with because he was a fan favourite. Everyone else they seem to be on board with to a certain extent. I did completely forget to actually talk about the loan deals. Here we go. Phil Byrne has gone to Stoke. Joe White to Wickham. Jan Malakar has gone to Sheffield Wednesday. Was trying to sell him. Nobody would take him. Alex Gibson, the young central defender, to Blackpool. Rob Novak, who's a player who came for... Rock Novak, who is a player who came for our youth intake in March. It's gone to Blythe Spartans. Greg Huddle has gone on loan to Reading. Abubakar Coffey has gone on loan to Austria Vienna. I'm already annoyed that Reading look like they're training him up to be a left winger. That's not what we want you to be doing. Season preview then. Something again that I don't often look at on camera. We are expected to finish 15th. We are expected to just be avoiding this bottom 5 mess with lots of teams on 1,000 to 1, 700 to 1. I'm hoping for a lot better than that. Our key players this season, Miguel Angel Valenzuela and Marlon Charles. Okay, they reckon Valenzuela is going to be important on the right-hand side. And the youngster Marlon Charles, who's going to be important on the left-hand side. Congratulations, Marlon, by the way. You've just had your 18th birthday. Don't get too drunk now. And our best starting 11 they recommend is basically is unchanged, isn't it? It is Woodman in goal, Panzo, Jakobsen, Suter, Charles and Mori as the 2 wing-backs. Abdul Kadir Omar and Jean-Pierre in the middle. Not too sure about that because neither of them are very defensive. Valenzuela just behind the strike partnership of David Francis and Amin Gouiri. David Francis, the Trinidad and Tobagan. I probably need to get him into the squad, don't I? Because I don't think he's actually registered. That is going to do it then for this episode. We will have another episode later on today. I'm not quite sure what time it's going to be, but that will do it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I'll be back later on today with the first matchup of the season up against Tottenham Hotspur, where I expect we're probably going to lose.